Are we nearly here yet? Is what children say towards the end of a very long journey. And we don't have to teach them the lines, they come up with them automatically. Are we nearly here yet? We have been on a very long journey, 14 billion years, full of many adventures. You and your atoms have had a spectacular ride, squashed up together in a star, exploding all over space, dissolving in acids, roasting in volcanoes, chewing insects, being chewed by dinosaurs. You were a germ, a worm, a fish surrounded by floods, earthquakes, wars, and now surrounded by family, friends, and plastic toys. A survivor. Congratulations. I'm going to tell you the story of that journey from the Big Bang to bang up to date. From the very first beginning when you were almost nothing till today when you are ruler of the world. Chapter 1. You are stardust. Are you ready? Fasten your seatbelts. This is going to be a white-knuckle ride. Like a roller coaster, it'll start slow, winch up, and then go crazy. Your story begins way back before everything. 14 billion years ago, the universe exploded out of a tiny spot as a vast mass of energy, which instantly became a trillion gazillion atoms of hydrogen. You were one of those atoms. Hi, hydrogen. Welcome to the universe. Universe? You looked around you. You could see no universe. Just a trillion gazillion atoms of hydrogen, like you, floating randomly in space. No stars or planets or people, no seas, trees or bees, nothing. Would you have to make it all? All the universe? You? An atom of hydrogen? The smallest, simplest thing ever? A million of you could just about stretch across that full stop. What could you do on your own? You looked around for help. There was another atom a millimeter away, and it looked as if it was moving towards you. After 1,000 years, it got there. Hi, good to meet you. Likewise, I'm sure. What's your name? Hydrogen. Really? What a coincidence. Do you know anything about building universes? Not a lot. I think it might take more than just the two of us, though. Maybe those two over there can help. 2 more atoms were gliding towards you. It took just 500 years to arrive. Now, you might think this is no way to build something as big as a universe. Like, shouldn't things happen a little faster? Well, don't worry. Like I said, it's just cranking up for now. Be patient. You said, okay, we have a team. Why don't we make a plan and get things done? Oh, we better wait until those 4 have got here. Less than half a millimeter away, another 4 atoms were waving. You stopped planning until they arrived. 10 years later. Right, here's the plan. What plan? Said 8 more atoms approaching you eagerly. Things were cranking up now, sure enough, and there were more hydrogens behind them. The plan is, please, don't crowd me, said you. Atoms were swarming all around you now, hundreds of them, and thousands more were rushing up by the second. You see, while you were planning to build the universe had started to build itself. The reason was gravity. All stuff has gravity, including you, hydrogen. So all stuff pulls other stuff towards it. The more stuff, the more pull. So there was nothing you had to do. Gravity was already busily at work. And the more stuff, the busier it got. Atoms came bounding in from miles away, quicker and quicker, pulled in by the gravity. After 250 million years, your ball of hydrogen was humongous, big enough to be a star, though it wasn't lit up yet. It was dark and silent, like all of space. The outer layer was fuzzy and almost weightless, like the air around you right now. But further towards the center, the gravity was greater and the gas became heavier, like a thick fog, then a thick soup, then like being buried under a sandpit, then under a mountain, then under 8 mountains pushing in from 8 sides. You were in the middle of all that heaviness, being squashed tight together. But here's the thing. Gravity has no top limit. More stuff creates more gravity, which pulls in more and more stuff, which makes more and more and more and more gravity. It can't be turned off. You thought, this wasn't in my plan. Next thing, you and 3 other hydrogens were pushed right into each other, and you all became a new kind of atom called helium. Hi, helium. This is your new name for a little while. Keep going. Because a helium atom is smaller than 4 hydrogens, you had a little spare energy. It made you glow. Around you in the ball, other heliums were also being made and were glowing. All the glows added up to a gleam, then a beam, then your ball became the first star and shone brightly in the black of space. So that was your first impact on the universe. Impressive. More gravity, more pushing together, and snap, you became a bigger atom, carbon. Welcome, carbon. Now you are a useful atom. Carbon atoms can make hard things like diamond, soft things like soot, sweet things like sugar, and living things like you. But you didn't have time to demonstrate your talents before your star exploded. It had become too big. In the explosion, all the other atoms were beaten and squashed into each other and ripped apart and smashed together again to make even more new atoms. Have you heard of gold, silver, iron, tin? 92 different atoms make up the family of stuff we call the table of elements. Now you had all the ingredients you needed to make the universe. The explosion flung you, carbon, and your elementary cousins out into space. But not for long. Gravity pulled you into another star. Then that exploded and you were flung outwards, then another and another. After 10 billion years of bouncing around space from explosion to explosion, you were flying towards a lump of stuff that was too small to be a star. Good, nice and safe. Spinning around a star that was too small to explode. Even safer. That star was the sun. That lump of stuff was your home from now on, Earth. As you plunged down towards the surface, you glowed like a shooting star before diving into the sea. 5 billion years later, you were made from that Earth. That Earth was made from the dust of exploding stars. So you are stardust. Are you nearly here yet? Well, carbon, you've done with being blown to smithereens in stars now. Though gravity is still busily at work out there, stars are still exploding, about 100 of them every second. Mostly they're trillions of miles away. Space is comfortably big, so we are safe. In the 10 billion years since the Big Bang, you haven't gone very far. You're still a single atom, carbon instead of hydrogen, but you're going to grow much faster from now on. You are in the best spot for that, down at the bottom of the sea, on top of an erupting volcano.